Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
In terms of geographical area, Arunachal Pradesh is the largest state in northeast India. However, despite having successfully launched various socio-economic development programs, it is still one of the most industrially backward states of the country. In order to meet the genuine aspirations of the local people, the state government assigned top priority towards the all-round development of the state. Over the years, special attention has been laid on the industrial sector. The emphasis has been on economic and commercial exploitation of the abundant natural resources of the state in order to maximize benefits to the local population. Simultaneously, the government is sensitive so as not to disturb the overall ecological balance within the state. This attitude of the state government towards the environment is clearly evident in industries which are based on plantation agriculture, horticulture and medicinal plants among others. These have been exclusively reserved only for tribal entrepreneurs of Arunachal Pradesh. The idea of setting up an industrial estate was mooted by the Small Scale Industries Board towards the end of the first 5-year plan in order to remove the difficulties of the small-scale industries in terms of acquiring suitable factory sites and other infrastructural facilities. One of the main objectives behind the setting up of such industrial estates was to ensure the all-round development of the local people. Emphasis was laid on creation of employment opportunities, particularly gainful self-employment in industrial and allied sectors. The industrial estate at Naharlagun boasts of all required facilities that a small-scale entrepreneur requires. Till the end of 1993-94 financial year, a total of 20 sheds had been constructed and allotted to different small-scale industries. Transportation and establishing better road links in the state is one of the priority areas of the government. As a result of this, there is an ever-increasing demand for more buses in the state. This in turn has resulted in a boom in the bus bodybuilding and fabrication business. Entrepreneurs have seized this opportunity and are thus providing gainful employment in this industrial sector.
हम लोग का तो हो के आपका बॉडी बिल्डर बनाना और आपका ये फैब्रिकेशन ट्रास जो करता है वही जो लुआ लकड़ का काम जो ही भी वही करता है। अभी जो हम लोग का जो काम कर रहा है हम पेन भी आगे बढ़ाने चाहता है जैसा अभी जो हम लोग गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी है ऐसा बढ़ा देने से और भी हम लोग आगे बढ़ेगा थोड़ा सहायता मिलने से।
After the attainment of the statehood, systematic approach for development of industries was undertaken. Earlier, it was basically on the rural industries, but after statehood, the government decided to start on the systematic matter for better improvement and upliftment of the economy. Our aims of this around all-round socio-economic development of the state in diverse industry sectors, promotion of small-scale, cottage, medium scales, artisans-based industries in this sector, maximum utilization of centrally sponsored projects, and training exposure of local youths. For the development of industry, we are getting help from the Government of India. Besides the existing industries, the Government of India has given a growth center complex at the Norlung area, which we have under progress. And another proposal has also been submitted for EPIP, Export Promotion Industrial Parks. This is in the Government of India, now under consideration of the Government of India. Besides, some proposal under integrated infrastructure development program is also going on. In addition, in order to encourage the local entrepreneurs, some EDPs, entrepreneurial development training program, are also being conducted in all the districts, and industrial management training is also being provided to them to upgrade their skills and others. Besides, in order to improve the technical skill, 2 ITIs are functioning in Arunachal Pradesh. Another 2 ITIs are likely to come, and we have submitted the proposal to the Government of India.
Beautiful handicrafts and weavings form part of the age-old traditions of the people of Arunachal Pradesh. The natives of this state have been blessed with an artistic craftsmanship that in many ways holds a place of pride in the history of their cultural and handicraft traditions. The abundant availability of bamboo in the state has resulted in its being used innovatively as a raw material, especially in weaving of several items. In fact, this rich tradition finds its roots in necessity. In the past, tribal households generally had to be self-reliant, and so within the family itself, members learnt different crafts, including the making of useful and utility handicrafts.
This unit, known as Cane and Bamboo Production Unit, was established in the year 1978-79. And the main aim of establishing this unit was to train out the rural youth as well as the in-service personnel of our department, so that they can impart training to the trainees in different parts of our states. We are running as a production mainly. We insist on producing cane, chairs, almiras, alnas, sofa sets, tables, etc. And Mithun models, wall hangings like this. In the year 1997 and 98, this department has introduced a new scheme known as High Skill Development Training, which was main aim was to train out the rural artisans to develop their skills and generate their self-employment in rural areas. And we insist on the quality of the products of our rural, like caps, igin, nara, like this, indigenous items, so that they can earn their livelihood.
In addition to handicrafts, the state is also home of the famous and world-renowned Tankha paintings. These intricate and colorful paintings are based on ancient Buddhist folklore. Artists painstakingly work for days together to create masterpiece paintings on cloth. Rich in religious symbolism, the Tankha paintings command a high premium not only in India but also in the international market. The state government is actively promoting this beautiful symbol of man's creativity. The Monpa tribe of Arunachal Pradesh has a unique and age-old legacy. They are a tribe that has specialized in the art of making handmade paper. The soft bark of the manem tree is used for making the base of the pulp. The bark is thereafter boiled in a vessel over a slow fire. Then the pulp is meshed and laid out on porous trays and liberally watered. Finally, these trays are left to dry in the open air for about 11 days. This indigenous method of paper making is an environment-friendly approach of the Monpa people. And as awareness and concern about preserving the environment is increasing day by day, this traditional art of handmade paper is being vigorously promoted by the state government and is bound to make its impact all over. Weaving is another traditional craft of Arunachal Pradesh, and the concentration of weavers in the state have basically been identified with the Adis in East Siang district, Targan and Hilmiris in Upper Subansiri, Upper Tamis and Nishis in Lower Subansiri, and Papunpare and Monpas in West Kameng and Tawang districts. Handloom weaving has played an important role in the economy of the state. It is in fact, to a large extent, a major source of occupation of the women folk in Arunachal Pradesh. They undertake the entire production process all on their own, right from spinning the yarn till the final weaving and finishing itself. These artists have an excellent sense of color mixing over their own designs, which have been traditionally inherited over generations and are reflective of the social cultural status of different tribes. The introduction and amalgamation of new weaving styles and patterns within the ancient tradition has resulted in a wonderful evolution of exquisite designs of Gail and Galuk. The handloom products of Arunachal indeed are the hallmark of patient and creative craftsmanship over centuries, and the vibrant colors assimilated in different hues can weave their unique charm around anyone. And gradually, with the active help of the state government, the beauty of this woven charm is taking new markets by storm in virtually every nook and corner of the country.
हम लोग जो ये कपड़ा बनाते हैं ना, ये जो हैंडलूम का बनाते हैं, ये हम लोग बना के बिक्री उक्री कर लेते हैं। थोड़ा बहुत गुजारा हम लोग चल रहता है, और बनाने से भी खरीदने वाला तो है ही नहीं। तो आजकल तो अरुणाचल में भी ऐसा हो गया कि ये सब तो कुर्ता उर्ता पहनता है, लॉन्ग पैंट पहनता है, तो क्या होता है ये खरीदने वाला भी सही ढंग से नहीं मिलता, और खरीदने वाला मिलने से भी हम खरीदने वाला भी है भी तो हम कहाँ में बिक्री करें ये भी हमको मालूम नहीं है। और हम चाहता है कि इसको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कोई ऐसे सुविधा अगर सरकार मदद करे तो बहुत अच्छा है। तो हम लोग कम से कम घर में बैठ के भी कुछ काम करके खा पी सकता है, हम लोग का घर का दुख तकलीफ दूर हो जाएगा, हम लोग यही चाहता है।
The government is providing marketing exposure of traditional handloom and handicrafts items at national and international levels. The department has prepared the master plan for small-scale industries and other projects on feasibility of industries.
In recent years, the state government has introduced local weavers to polyviscose yarn to produce high-quality fabrics and dress material that are suited for making modern clothes. The state government has rightfully realized that its pool of native talent can also be translated into monetary benefits to help people be able to improve the overall standard of their lives. With a little help, the development and encouragement of such small-scale and cottage industries like weaving would have a tremendous and positive impact on the standard of living of the people. In this context, training assumes a crucial role. As a result of this thinking, the state government has opened 76 training and production centers all over the state, where the emphasis is on focused training and demonstration. And as a result of these initiatives by the state government in the past decade, Arunachal Pradesh has today managed to carve out a niche for its handicraft and handloom items even in the national market. The fine craftsmanship, colorful patterns, and unique designs all help in commanding a good demand and price for the products. And this in turn helps local craftsmen to earn more, thereby improving their lives. At the same time, the increasing demand and patronage for these handicraft items help in maintaining and further developing a centuries-old tradition for the future generations also.
ये क्राफ्ट सेंटर 1956 को एस्टेब्लिश हुआ था। इस तवांग डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो दो क्राफ्ट सेंटर है, एक क्राफ्ट सेंटर तवांग है, एक लुमला क्राफ्ट सेंटर है। तवांग क्राफ्ट सेंटर में हमारे 10 सेक्शन है, जैसे कारपेट है, वीविंग है, नीटिंग है, टेलरिंग है, शू मेकिंग है, पेंटिंग है, वुड कर्विंग है, ब्लैक स्मिथी है, कारपेंट्री है। और लुमला क्राफ्ट सेंटर में हमारे एक ही सेक्शन है, वो है कारपेट। ये एम्स एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि लोकल आर्टिजन्स को जो है हम लोग ट्रेनिंग देते हैं यहाँ पे इस क्राफ्ट सेंटर में, और मंथली स्टाइपेंड जो है 350 रुपये महीना इनको देते हैं। हमारे यहाँ इंस्ट्रक्टर हैं, SCM हैं, जो इनको ट्रेन करते रहते हैं। और कारपेट में जो है हमारा ट्रेनिंग कोर्स होता है 2 साल का, और बाकी सब ट्रेडों में 1-1 साल का ट्रेनिंग है। उसके बाद ट्रेनिंग ख़त्म होने के बाद हम जो है इनको क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप के सर्टिफिकेट देते हैं, जिसके द्वारा जो है वो आगे फ्यूचर अपनी यूनिट सेटअप कर सकते हैं, या तो कोई गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं ये लोग।
In 1978, the State Department of Industries established 88 training cum introduction centers for handlooms and handicrafts. The primary objective was to provide raw materials, impart training, and extend financial support to the local weavers. One such center was established at Tawang. Since its inception, it has been engaged in the task of transforming the lives of the local people. The center also promotes the local craft of weaving carpets, and the exquisitely woven carpets of Tawang already have ready markets outside the state. Women who have mastered this great art spend patient hours of concentrated effort to weave marvelous creations of bright colored and intricate patterned carpets. The Tawang Craft Center has now been recognized as a center of excellence that has done pioneering work in propagating the existing handicraft and weaving talents of the people of the state. As a result of the training facilities and methodologies, the center has been able to provide a sustainable means of gainful employment for the people of this region. These artisans have found their rightful place in society and are respected for their talent and creativity in making carpets that today fetch remunerable prices in every market. What also makes the center so viable is the fact that the basic raw material for making carpets, that is fine quality wool, is easily available in the state. Finishing of each carpet is another crucial process. Using long pairs of scissors, the artisan expertly cuts away all loose threads and gives the final product a smooth finish. And the end product is literally a marvel that everyone has to admire. The beautiful geometrical patterns, as well as elaborate dragons and floral designs in rich colors and texture, never fail to impress the potential buyer.
हमारे एम्पोरियम में कारपेट से लेके आपके वुड कर्विंग प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, कारपेंट्री प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, शू मेकिंग के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, इसके बाद आपके नीटिंग प्रोडक्ट्स मिलेंगे, वीविंग के प्रोडक्ट्स, जो भी लोकल हमारे क्राफ्ट सेंटर में बनते हैं उसको हम लोग मार्केटिंग एम्पोरियम के थ्रू ही करते हैं। और जो लोकल आर्टिजन से हम लोग लेते हैं, रिवॉल्विंग फंड जो है हमारे पास है, गवर्नमेंट हमारे को दे रखा है, उससे द्वारा भी हम लोकल आर्टिजन से सामान खरीदते हैं। जैसा डिपकॉम हो गया, वो एक लोकल बास्केट है, वो हम खरीदते हैं लोकल आर्टिजन से। हैंडमेड पेपर हो गया जो तवांग में मशहूर है हैंडमेड पेपर के नाम से, उसको वो चीज़ हम जो है लोकल आर्टिजन से खरीदते हैं और ख़रीद के जो है उनको हम इंसेंटिव देते हैं मार्केटिंग असिस्टेंस के रूप में, और उसको जो है हम लोग मार्केटिंग करते हैं लोकली। बाकी तो ऐसा है, लोकल आर्टिजन से हम लोग लेते हैं और उसको हम लोग मार्केटिंग करते हैं थ्रू एम्पोरियम।
Recognizing the importance of infrastructural facilities, particularly in the hospitality sector, as being vital in inviting entrepreneurs from outside the state for investing in different sectors, the Arunachal government has set up ITDC luxury hotel chains in different parts of the state. Now people who are keen to invest in the state are assured of a comfortable stay in good hotels when they visit Arunachal Pradesh. The hotels themselves have been designed and constructed keeping in mind the local aesthetics. And in the restaurants, one can savor a wide variety of culinary delights that cater to every palate. Arunachal Pradesh is a very large state in terms of distances. The thickly forested mountains, turbulent rivers, and large distances between the districts and the capital often make remote areas quite inaccessible. Recognizing the importance of creating a well laid out transportation network as being crucial for the development of the state, the government of Arunachal Pradesh has over the years taken important decisions in this sector. Air travel is the fastest and often the only means of transportation between certain areas of the state. Not only does this mode of travel save time, but in times of need, it also helps the administration reach out to remote areas where help is needed most. However, aviation in Arunachal Pradesh is in its stage of infancy. The state is yet to acquire a full-fledged airport. As of now, the air links in the state are maintained by Pawan Hans Air Services, a Government of India enterprise. There are a total of 77 helipads and 14 landing grounds in the state. It is only in the last few years that the capital Itanagar has been earmarked for the construction of an airport.
We started this Pawan Hans detachment for Arunachal. Initially, the helicopter was based in Guwahati, because at that time the infrastructure at Naharlagun helipad was not complete. Within 2 months' time, this facility was extended at Naharlagun, and the helicopter shifted to Naharlagun helipad as a permanent detachment in month of February 1996. From then on till now, on an average approximately we have been carrying out 100 hours plus per month flying, and the helicopter is mainly being used for transportation of personnel into inaccessible areas. However, on certain occasions it has been used for casualty evacuation and other mercy missions, including carrying out a reconnaissance sortie for flood relief. The service now has been expanded and touches all the district headquarters at least once a week, and there are regular sorties being carried out between Dibrugarh and Guwahati, as the personnel movement to these two places, the intensity is high. Secondly, during the monsoon period, most of the places are cut off from main Arunachal district headquarters, as well. District headquarters are cut off from the capital. Therefore, the helicopter then comes in very handy. After Pawan Hans having satisfied the state governments that we have been able to meet all their requirements as far as helicopter transportation is concerned with this Dolphin, they have now shown interest to place 2 larger helicopters in the state. The helicopters will be Mi-172s, which has got a 24-seat capacity, as well as they can be used for purpose of food supply and other logistic jobs. This For this purpose, a new hangar is being built at Itanagar, which will accommodate the helicopter, as well as it is possible that the same helicopters will also be occasionally based in Pasighat, especially during the monsoon months, so as to carry out the supply missions to inaccessible areas which are cut off from main land or main district headquarters.
For a hilly state like Arunachal Pradesh, with no other means of communication like a waterways or rail network, roads play the pivotal role in promoting economic activity and development. The State Transport Service today is operating 175 buses on 115 routes. These routes link not only the capital Itanagar with the district headquarters, but also link smaller towns within the district themselves. Recognizing the importance of increasing the road and transport network, the state government has undertaken the construction of roads and bridges on a war footing. This area has been accorded a priority status since it has a direct impact on the overall economic prosperity and development of the state. It also helps integrate inaccessible areas into the mainstream. The state government plans to connect 75% of the remote areas by road networks by the year 2080.
Main objective of the erstwhile CPWD also and then to the PWD, a main objective is for development of mainly the infrastructure, like especially the roads and bridges and buildings, both residential, non-residentials. We have today quite a large number of roads and bridges, which we are doing it. And the PWD being the mother, engineering department, has also been responsible for many other departments which has come up in Arunachal Pradesh. In PWD alone, I am talking about the road density in Arunachal Pradesh from the BRO side also. So BRO, Border Roads Organization, they are making roads basically for defense purpose, from Assam right up to the border of the China, and of course in the Myanmar border, etc. Now they have also quite a large chunk of roads they maintain, construct. And as far as PWD is concerned, we have gone up to this length of 6,900 kilometers as on today. If road density we compare, in 1987 it was only 3.3 kilometer per 100 square kilometer. Today it is 8.5 per 100 square kilometer of PWD road. So you can imagine what was the development that time, what is now.
The total revenue earned by the State Transport Service during 1997-98 was Rs 8.7 crores. What is equally noteworthy is the fact that it has also provided direct employment to about 750 persons. Arunachal Pradesh is certainly undertaking the development of its transport network in all seriousness. From the plains of Naharlagun to the highest point of Sela Pass, which is situated above 14,000 feet, the state PWD, along with the Border Roads Organization, are working round the clock in building and maintaining the vast road network as part of their commitment to the nation.